Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your November 2020 overview reading. This is good for you if you're a Sun, Moon, or Rising Cancer. And before we get started, take a moment to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Make sure you check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing and sign up for my newsletter for more good things from me. And if you feel that any of this resonates, please leave a comment. I love reading them and knowing how this applies, so let me know. And without further ado, I'm going to lay this spread out and then we will get started. All right, let's start with the Oracle cards. As always, first thing we have coming up is the Stone. Few things that are immediately coming up is going to be embodiment, getting in your body, staying in your body as you do things, and really working on grounding yourself this month. It's going to be really important for you to find anchors, for you to hook into and keep yourself grounded. I'm getting that Scorpio season in particular, that part of the month until the sun moves into Sagittarius, is going to require you to balance the intuitive season, kind of the dreamy, intuitive Scorpio depths that we're going to be in for a good chunk of November. You're going to have to find what stabilizes you in those deep waters. So make sure that you kind of have a game plan ready for dropping into your body, getting back into yourself. Because water seasons can really hit hard if you're not kind of conscious of the energies that are at play and at work. So I would recommend that you find your anchors, establish those ahead of time. What is it? Is it work? Is it an activity? Is it a hobby? Is it exercise? Is it phoning a friend? Like, what anchors you? And then kind of get yourself a list for all of that. And then the animal card we have is Oyster. Yep, so this is reflecting the intuitive nature of November is going to feel very, very deep. And I'm getting, for you, it's going to be something that, like the phrase getting cracked open is what's coming up with this card. So make sure that you're just prepared for new revelations in the month of November. I'm getting that there's a lot of information that's going to be coming to the surface, reflecting on new things about your desires, yourself, what your heart wants, what you want, what's unfolding in your life. And so just allow yourself to be open to being open and really look for the new insights and wisdom that shine through. This isn't going to be a month that I'm getting as like status quo. It really is going to rock you in all the right ways. Okay, and then we have experience. Acknowledge what it took. Be patient with the new endeavors. Some paths need time to unfold. It doesn't matter what time you arrive to the party. The future is waiting and you're ready now. I'm not going to overread this card. I think whatever you heard is what you needed to hear. And let's move into the core reading. The central energy for you is the Four of Cups. This is going to be a very self-focused month. I think it needs to be that way. You might be very tempted to invest in other people right now, or maybe you feel like you have a lot of things tugging at you. You need to go back to yourself. The Four of Cups is saying know what to say no to. I say that every time because it is such an important lesson. Your no's are just as important as your yeses, and consider that saying yes to yourself is a very good option, especially when you are intuitive, when you are giving, when you are nurturing. Saying yes to yourself is a very good practice to have. So just consider, what does saying yes to myself look like? The crossing energy is the Eight of Cups. Love having this because it's about a new perspective. A shift, a change in the winds, so to speak. And how you're coming at the situation now is not going to be how you're going to come into the situation by the end of November. So you have a lot of growth that's happening internally in your emotional world, and you can fully anticipate that this this Eight of Cups is serving you in many ways, because it's, like I said, cracking you open to what the next level is, or what you truly want, what the deep desire is, what you actually want to say yes to. Not what you've been saying yes to on autopilot, but what your heart and your soul and your being are wanting to say yes to in this lifetime. Think about it in those terms. And the tides are always changing, right? And that's kind of the beauty of life. But the main thing that you want to consider is that a change and evolution within yourself and within your internal world is begging your attention. What you have shifting out is the Sun of Cups. The thing with the Sun of Cups is, while it is very heart-centered, it's very intuitive, emotion-focused, it's not fully matured. So that's kind of the difference between the Knight and the King, right? The Knight is not as mature as the King. The Knight doesn't have the level of mastery that the King does. And so this is saying, like, the emotional fragments that really haven't been serving you are not supporting your soul's mission, so to speak. Those are the things that are shifting out. Those are the pieces that are being repurposed. So you're reworking a lot of your emotional world. Because look, you have cups, cups, cups. Water, 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 which is why you have the stone that came up first. Is like, ground yourself for the love of God in the month of November. That is the main thing, the main tool that you want to carry with you, because there is so much emotion that's on the table. The oncoming energy is the Magician. You need to reclaim your role as the creator. You're in charge. I talk about empowerment a lot, and I try to weave in a lot of creation elements into my readings for this reason. As soon as you get into the mindset of, I'm just a victim of life, or like life is happening to me, you're giving your power away. You're shifting into being disempowered, falling into victim mode, rather than understanding you're an active participant. So whatever emotions and transformation is being kicked up for you in November, take it in stride and really understand that it's all in service of you and what you want. Imagine that all of the things that are bubbling up to the surface, in what capacity is this going to be the most supportive thing for you to do and experience in this lifetime? And then how does it also prepare you for being receptive to all of the things you're creating and manifesting? That's another element that you want to keep in mind, okay? Because the Magician is saying you need to take the reins back, right? Not that you ever have to give them away, but if you feel like you've been swept away in emotion and transformation, especially recently, then you need to take back the reins. You need to reel it in. You need to just honor the processing as cracking you open to being the person who gets the things that you want. Right? It's all in the service of the creations that you have going. Now, these three cards up here, this is what's happening outside of you. This is like your environmental stuff, what's happening in your world at an environmental level. So the first thing we have is Justice. Highly reflective. So look at your environment as being a direct mirror. Try not to judge it, just look at it as a mirror. And then we have the Son of Wands. This is showing up as lots of projects, like projects that maybe you want to invest in, or people who are bringing you opportunities. And we have the Nine of Cups, wishes fulfilled, dreams coming true. So I think that you've already been kind of moving in the direction of, hey, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I'm creating. And all of this is balancing out. So it looks like the energy that you're putting towards the creation is stabilizing, or your flow is stabilizing. So that looks really exciting. Love seeing that for you. And then I'm just going to pull a clarifier for this. We have the Queen of Stars. So once again, we go back to, how are you anchoring yourself and grounding yourself? Right? This is redefining and reworking the strategies that you may have been using before. I'm getting that a lot of them will not be working, which is why the Eight of Cups is coming up. It's that changing your mind, changing how you're thinking about things, changing how you're doing things. And so it's kind of like assuming everything goes your way, assuming you get, in the end, everything that you want. It's kind of like, how can you stabilize your energetic momentum now? How are you balancing and calibrating that now to get here? Because this is the decision that you've already made that's beginning to materialize. Now, let me say one thing about your intention or manifestation or what you've been working towards materializing in the 3D. Sometimes it's not just plopping down in your lap. It's not always like that. Sometimes it's little breadcrumbs that you're following and seeing beginning to build. Sometimes it's a lead here and there. Sometimes it's you embodying more of the energy and just seeing how your reality is shifting piece by piece. So you don't have to look at this month as everything needing to be delivered if you're in the middle of like this big upheaval in this big transformation, so that you can be more and more available to this. Many of you are in the middle of deep work, deep process. So I'm getting that your environment is starting to balance out because of the work that you've done. You know you're on the right track. It's like you're getting those breadcrumbs, you're getting that confirmation externally. That's all happening. But you're also in the middle of a lot of alignment and doing a lot of that work. And so an indication of things improving, in my opinion, just in terms of like a manifestation stabilizing, you'll begin to see that reflected in your energetic state, or the flow and pace of things coming in, the quality of people who show up. All of that is going to be more grounded as you ground yourself. And that's what the Queen of Stars is helping you to do. It's grounding out this energy up here. All of this is stabilizing. So you might see that your environment looks really promising, is the word that's coming up. You know, the Son of Wands is kind of like riding the waves of energy as they show up for you. And the Justice card is a deep, deep balance. So you get to enjoy this. This is happening in your external, whether you see it or not. If you have a bad day, you might not be able to fully see this. So let this be the confirmation that the external, this is the external. The internal could be all sorts of pain points, traumas, wounding that's coming up to the surface to be worked through. Those things can be coexisting at the same time, but keep in mind that your internal state can impact the lenses that you have on. So try to be skeptical if you're having a bad day. Don't evaluate your environment when you're in that state. You want to avoid making evaluations when you feel like shit, right? So stabilize yourself, ground yourself in this so you can see the Nine of Cups clearly. Now let's look at your internal world and some advice. We have the Mother of Wands, okay? And we have the Daughter of Swords. It's interesting. There's a marrying of, you know, because we have earth, fire, and air coming up here. And so I'm getting that you're doing a lot of integration. That's the word that's coming up. I'm going to clarify these because a lot of this has to do with the feminine receptivity frequency, right? So what you're giving yourself permission to receive. And we have the Nine of Stars. So it's like, what have you worked for? What have you been working on already? I'm getting that this is getting easier and easier to maintain because of the work that you've already put in. And the Mother of Wands, while this is kind of reflective of some possession or constriction, I'm getting that this has more to do with your tightening or holding on to things so tightly that it's somewhat getting in your way. So that's where that's where you need to loosen your grip a little bit to let things flow and let things be easy. Because if you're super contracted, that's not making you available to receive more. Or if you're the one who's putting conditions and restrictions and limits on things, you want to allow that to loosen up. You don't want the forceful part of yourself to be running the show, because that's only going to create experiences that are kind of infused with more resistance, because you've been so forceful and contracted to begin with. And so the mastery piece is over where to put your energy, when to lock into something, when to loosen up. Because there are things to be firm about, right? There are good things to have a lot of conviction in. Conviction is powerful when you're wielding it in a way that serves you. But this is like addressing what type of conviction or what type of like feeling adamant about something. If you're feeling adamant, is it serving you or not serving you? Is it helpful or harmful? Is it what you want or not what you want? Because I'm getting, you've already been working to get the vision clear. That's what the Nine of Stars is, right? You know what it is. It's just that there might be some blind spots here that need to be worked through. This is the mental body coming from the endless possibilities. This is not the month to say, because XYZ happened in the past, that means I'm going to forecast that into the future. That's going to be a big thorn in your side in November if you're not careful. So you want to keep your eye on that and make sure that you are available for more possibilities. That is the main thing that I'm getting here. And also, if you come from like a novice curiosity, I'm going to just be open and available for new possibilities and things that I maybe haven't seen yet, or the naivete of, well, maybe it will go my way. That's going to serve you a lot better than being constricted or like locked into a story. Don't lock yourself into a story if it makes you feel bad. That means there's work to do around the mental body and you getting out of your way. You know, the mental body wants to get in the way a lot of the time. So loosen up around that, you know, have a beginner perspective and see how that shifts things for you. Okay, now we're going to wrap up with a 3-card pick. You guys know the drill unless you're new here, in which case, hello. So go ahead, keep an intention or a question or whatever you're needing in this moment. Hold that in mind. And then whichever card is calling to you, do you feel drawn towards? Just tune in. And if you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Card number 1. We have the Sun. So let yourself have a good time with all of the discovery and the new things that you have cracking open in the month of November. Look at it like it's rich with opportunity, with fun, with clarity. There are all of these good things that are unfolding in November. So as long as you're perceiving even any emotional wounding that you're confronting, all of the stuff that's coming up, view it through the lens of, thank God I'm doing this. Like, this is allowing me to express myself more. And when you come out of any emotional territory, it's like capitalize on feeling good. You know, life is ebbs and flows. There's always more things to discover and work through. And so the Sun is just reminding you that you want to really tune into the excitement, the fun, the celebration that life has to offer. So whatever situation you're asking about, or if it's just advice, focus on fun. Focus on being playful with it. Card number 2, we have the Page of Swords. Come from a different approach. So doing things in the same way you've always done them is not going to work. That's not going to help you right now. It's time to innovate, to change, to pivot, to try a different angle, or even if you're doing the same thing, approach it differently. So you really need to freshen up what you're doing with your energy, what you're doing with your intentions and strategy. All of it needs to be revamped in order to create a different outcome. So consider that. It's more than just saying, I wish, I wish. That's not really an effective strategy. What is going to help you is if you look at it as, I'm in charge, this is something that's within my power and control, so long as I adjust myself first to align with the highest possible version of myself and thus the highest possible outcome. Card number 3, we have the Ace of Coins. Initiate, start the project, do the thing. You move forward first. Look at it as what you do, mind, body, and spirit, right? The whole enchilada. That is the first move. That's actually where initiation takes place. It's not just about action, it's also about alignment, it's about decision making, and all of that is in service of you initiating. But this is like a yes card. It's pursue, go for it. And I'm getting, for a lot of you, this is going to be really based in the material world. So this looks more like personal projects, passions, endeavors, career stuff. This is very work focused, just so you know. For some of you, if you're not asking about anything regarding work or projects or whatever, really keep the energetic initiation in mind. That piece is really coming to the forefront. So carry that with you. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure you watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of the month ahead. Don't forget to subscribe, sign up for my newsletter. I have more good things coming, so stay up to date with me. Check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing. I am sending you so much love and support. If you would like to work with me or learn more, go to onyxhealing.com, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.